Hey guys, welcome back to the Tone Show. In today's episode of Answer Attached, I'm going to be answering the question: are there sequels that are better than the original? Surprise! There's a lot of movies that outdid the original. So if that sounds fun, strap in or sit down and buckle up because it's going to be a little bit of a ride. Let's start with comic book sequels. I don't think you can discuss comic book movies that are better than the original without talking about Christopher Nolan's masterpiece, The Dark Knight. So one can say that Batman Begins walks so that the Dark Knight could jog, run past everything, right? Heath Ledger's Joker redefined what we see in a villain. He made us question society itself. And the Oscar was well deserved. So this movie, it builds on everything that the Batman Begins did and just took it into the stratosphere. Christopher Nolan, I think, really hit the epitome of his Batman trilogy in The Dark Knight. And I don't think anybody can question if this is the movie that when everybody thinks about the trilogy, they think about this particular movie. The Dark Knight surpasses Batman Begins on every single level. And to this day, Heath Ledger's Joker is probably one of the most iconic villains on film and even on the page of a comic that we've ever encountered. So yeah, The Dark Knight has to be on any list where the sequel surpasses the original. And speaking about comic book movies where the villain took center stage, we gotta talk about Spider-Man 2. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, it took everything that the first Spider-Man did and expanded on it on every single level. Doc Ock wasn't just a villain; he's a living eight-armed tragedy right on film. We all think about this movie and we think about that train scene where Spider-Man is just like holding on, and then the New Yorkers, it was so New York, it was so Spider-Man. They just carry him on board and they give him back his mask. Like that movie is so iconic of the three movies. I think Sam Raimi definitely hit his stride with Spider-Man 2, and he took Spider-Man's everyday problems and put them right there on film for us to see. And I think that's what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. It's not just the super strength and the super abilities of a spider, but it's like he has all these hindrances, all these little problems that you and me have. And he's also a young person dealing with these things. And it's all there on film. So I think Spider-Man 2 definitely built on what he did with Spider-Man 1 and took the second film out of here. Like it definitely knocks that out the park. So on any list of comic book movies that surpasses the sequel, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 is squarely in there. And if you're enjoying these comic book sequels that are better than the original, I'm gonna put my playlist right here for unpopular movie opinions, like spicy movie opinions, right? And in there, I talked about Guillermo del Toro's Blade 2. So if you're interested in hearing about that, check that out. I think Blade 2 is so much better than the original first Blade, and for so many reasons. So check that out right up there. But let's move into horror. We gotta talk about The Conjuring 2. The Conjuring 2 did everything The Conjuring did and took it into the stratosphere as well. It took The Conjuring and it moved it overseas, introduced it to a new family. It gave us two new iconic villains in Valak the Nun and also the Crooked Man. So we have two new horror icons right there in The Conjuring 2. The second movie really focused in on the Warrens, and it was scary on every level. And it's very hard with a horror movie to surpass because usually there's a lot of cash grabs out there, but no one can tell me that The Conjuring 2 wasn't a well thought out, well directed film. So yeah, the Warrens went overseas to tackle new horrors and new scares, and it took us along with them. So I feel like that movie just builds on everything we learned from the first Conjuring. It's more tense. There's more connection between the Warrens. The fear that the movie invokes and the jump scares are higher. Everything is built up to the max in this movie. So if you enjoy the first Conjuring, definitely check out The Conjuring 2. You won't be disappointed. Switching gears a little bit into sci-fi, we got to talk about Terminator 2. T2, it redefined, I think, sequels. It took everything the first movie did and just expanded it so much that to this day, I think when you think about Terminator, you think about Terminator 2. They took the bad guy, they made him the good guy. Arnold's back. Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back. All that was in this movie. It redefined the relationship between Sarah Connor and John Connor. When you think about that relationship, like the Sarah Connor that everybody knows, I think on film comes from this film. The special effects were there, like we never seen anything like that liquid Terminator, the way that it was just like shifting, like when this movie came out, it just changed everything. People were like, what the hell? Like the special effects in this movie, James Cameron, he redefined special effects to this day, I feel like, in that movie. And it just built on everything the first movie did. It did it so awesomely. Is that even a word? It was awesomely. Bigger scale, bigger effects, bigger jumps on motorcycles, killer soundtrack, new improved villain in T-1000. And also you got this emotional ending that I feel like they should have ended it there. Like if they would have ended it there, like nobody could find any faults in this film or the Terminator franchise, but they didn't. But yeah, Terminator 2, it's the Arnold and the Sarah and the John Connor we know. And it definitely surpasses the first Terminator. And it shifted genres. It went from horror to action. So Awesome movie, belongs on this list. And sticking on James Cameron movies that flip the script, we're going to talk about Aliens. Aliens is better than Alien. It took a slow burn horror movie and it turned into action. It gave us these new space marines. It gave us quotes like "Game over, man." It gave us Ripley, who was a survivor, and now she's also an action star. The relationship between Ripley and Newt. It gave us the alien queen, like bigger guns, like cool vehicles. Aliens in every category. I think it outdid Alien, and I really I love Alien. Alien's one of my favorite films. But yeah, Aliens, James Cameron, I got to put on any list which it improves on the original. And some of you might fight me and say that Alien is a better film, but I think Aliens is a sci-fi action masterpiece, and it's better than the original. I know you're gonna fight me on that one, and it belongs squarely on any list where the sequel surpasses the original. Take that. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more Tone Show before we move on to the next movie. Okay, this one's gonna be a little bit controversial, and I'm not even sure if I believe it myself, but I kind of believe it. I think Ghostbusters 2 is better than Ghostbusters. I know, it's crazy for me to say that, but I don't know, maybe because maybe I'm biased because I grew up with these movies, but the Statue of Liberty walking down the island of Manhattan with the torch and higher, I feel like I feel that movie in my bones. Like I really enjoy the movie. They came back with the slime backpacks to build on the proton packs. It gave us Sigourney Weaver again with the baby. It gave us Igor, annoying villains. Like I don't think, maybe it's not better than the original movie as a film. I don't know how it gets such bad Rotten Tomato scores compared to the first one. Yeah, the first one gave us Ghostbusters, and it gave us this amazing franchise and fans to this day. But the second one, I would put I think it's arguable. That's arguable that the second one, the enjoyment you get for the second movie and all those additions that I just mentioned, like Igor, like he was just so annoying. And looking back, it's just so enjoyable to watch. Like I can just rewatch Ghostbusters too. So a lot of you are gonna not agree with me on this one, and I'm not even sure if I agree with myself, but I would put Ghostbusters 2 in a list where it's better than the original. And we're gonna go back to comic book movies on this one because I forgot X2 exists, and I think X2 is better than the X-Men movie, than the original. Like just that opening scene with Nightcrawler where he tries to assassinate the president, like that has to be one of the illest comic book scenes of all time. I'm talking about of all time. Like Tim, it just showed us how badass Nightcrawler could be, and the way they'll use his powers, like it just really showed you the power of like even him. He's not an Omega mutant, and Nightcrawler was just like secret service people like nobody's business. So yeah, X2 is more mutants. It really unleashed Wolverine in that movie, and it just gave us so much more than the first movie. But just thinking back to that opening scene with Nightcrawler, like I don't think you can say that X-Men the original touches that scene. I don't think any X-Men movie, even the last one, let's not talk about the last one, can really mess with X2. And that opening scene alone, I think is better than the first movie. So maybe I put X2 as a bonus of comic book movies that are better than the original, just for that opening scene with Nightcrawler. Man, that Nightcrawler scene is so awesome. So anyway, guys, this is another Tone Show video, answer attached. Which movies are better than the original? So if you guys enjoy this list, hit the like and subscribe button so you can come back for more Tone Show, because I might do a second one. I feel like there's so many more movies that are better than the original, so I might do a part 2 depending on what you guys think of this video. Put it in the comments if you want to see a part 2 to this video. As always, guys, this is the Tone Show. Tone Show.